Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my video over CT side util sets for Nuke. I hope you enjoy. Now, the very first util set I'm going to show y'all is going to be for the outside player, and the very first thing I'm going to talk about is mollying the outside rush. You see a lot of people molly it, may even be yourself, throw something like this, just do a little jump throw, bank it off this wall. I even missed it like that. Let me try it again. I think it's something like this. I have no clue. I don't throw the molly like this, and there's a reason why you don't throw the molly like this. If you're throwing the molly once you reach unbreakable and jump throwing it over mini like that, you're already going to be on a bad timing because by the time you're here, the enemy team will already be right here as well. So if you throw that molly while the enemy team is already here, they're already going to be out and in front of that molly by the time it lands if they're full holding W. The proper molly that most people throw is they'll run out of spawn and they'll come along this yellow line and this red box here, and you'll keep running here, and once you get past this wall, you'll look to this wall up here. I aim about where these windows are, and I'm holding A from now, and here I'm going to keep aiming along this grate, and I'm waiting till where this pole comes around the wall, and once this pole appears, you just do a forward W run throw. And this is going to perfectly land where there isn't a gap on this side, and they can't get around right here either. If you throw the molly like that, it will block them from being able to rush outside, and this will always be on a timing faster than the enemies can be. So I'm going to combine this in one fluid motion now, but you should be throwing glaive smoke with this as well. If you don't know what glaive smoke is, you're just going to be bouncing a smoke off this box here. And this is really powerful outside. You can throw this pretty much every round, and you can use it to fight from behind it to top of Marshmallow. You can use it to hide right here and maybe then decide to timing the guy on Marshmallow. You can hide in this corner and wait for people to run past Secret. You can decide to walk through this smoke and hide in Africa or hide in front of this box right here. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So the general util set that you should be throwing if you're an outside player is going to look something like this by mollying the outside rush and then throwing a smoke off this box. You can also chuck a couple flashes if you want. And then I'll normally do something like this. I'll try to take space here or just sit behind the smoke like that. And I almost forgot about this. If you bounce this smoke off this box here, you can use this to actually be able to cross into Secret without anybody seeing you. The only person that'll see you is if somebody jumps up onto Marshmallow quick enough. So you can use that to get in here, and if they're just full running outside, that you're going to catch them off guard being right here when they run into Secret. Alright, next up, I'm going to showcase y'all how to play ramp. So, start of the round, chuck a molly, chuck a smoke, chuck a nade, chuck a fucking everything, because, yeah, I mean, there's only one entrance for you to use your util on. I can't really tell you much what to do here. Okay, I'm trolling, so that isn't all you can do. If you're a W key player going ramp, I like to do this. I'll bounce a smoke off this wall, and then I'll bounce a flash as well, so that flash will pop, and I'll come through this smoke like this. And that's about the only real util sets that you can use for ramp. Just know that your job as a ramp player isn't really to get kills or to protect ramp. Your job is just to not die. If the enemy team is going to take over ramp, you can decide to fall back into hell or just drop down and fall into B. It's perfectly fine. Calm to your teammates that the enemies have ramp control. Just don't die in ramp every round. Alright, so next up we got the util set for the A player. And the very first thing that I'm going to talk about isn't a piece of util, but right there, if you can fast climb off this ladder as the A player, it is a very important thing to learn, and you definitely should be doing it so that you can throw some of this util quicker. The reason why I also mentioned this fast climb is right because when you get off this ladder here is going to be the very first piece of util you can throw for A players. So right at the start of the round, if you want to chuck some type of util directly at Hut, once you get off this ladder and you're lined up about here, if you want to throw something, you can aim it where this door is right here. So it's about where this pillar is here. And you're going to do a middle click throw just while you're running forward. So if I want to smoke it, I can throw smoke like that. If I want to nade it, I can throw a nade like this. If I want to throw a flash, I can throw a flash like that. It's a pretty useful way just to throw util directly at Hut at the start of the round if you want to throw a molly or a nade or something. Now after you've gotten up the ladder and you jump onto silos here, I like to also throw either a flashbang or a nade just directly through this doorway. The reason I like to do this is because at this point, whenever you're dropping off the silo here, somebody could be swinging through HUD on you here. So throwing that flashbang or that grenade is either going to do some damage to somebody swinging or just blind them while they're swinging. And if you want to fight them back when you flash like that, I like to wait along this wall right for the flash to pop and swing right as the flash pops. Another interesting piece of util that I like to use on A is I will actually molly top hut myself. And I will do this, and I will either decide to walk through hut like this, or I will decide to throw the molly and just full W key through hut. The reasoning behind throwing a molly on top of the hut of roof yourself is because whenever I throw this molly, the enemy team may think that, oh, I just threw a molly inside of hut, so I can't push it. Meanwhile, I am pushing it. And also, when you throw this molly, if you're full running, it's going to mask a little bit of your footsteps and give you a little bit of an easier time. Maybe the guy Squeaky doesn't hear you running because he's shooting his gun and he just hears the molly fire going off. It's a pretty useful tip you can use. And if you're really off the shits, you can come here and just start bouncing flashes off this wall and running and hoping you can make it up this ladder and that those flashes blinded whoever would be shooting you in the back. And then finally, this is a slight variation of the Renyan play. He does this sometimes. I'll throw a smoke like that as well off the wall and a flash, and as you'll see, this is going to block off ramp players and somebody has to swing you close here. So if you have a shotgun, it's really nice, but you can use this and you only have to worry about this guy and somebody Squeaky holding you. I'll jump up on this ladder and also just climb to roof as well. So I'm not going to talk much about the door player's role here. All you really need to know is just have the door smoked off and make sure you throw decent smokes. This one isn't bad, you know, somebody could be at the edge of this, but you just want to make sure you're not throwing smokes at Squeaky door like this, because who knows what's going on in this smoke. Somebody could be trying to walk through this smoke to get in the vent. Somebody could be walking in the smoke to get behind the corner. Don't put any smokes that people can lurk out of the door on. If you're going to have a smoke, try to have the smoke far back enough where if they're going to lurk out the door, they're just like literally right at the entrance of it. They're not able to gain anything by lurking through the smoke. Another bonus tip I'm going to give you for the A players is, say you lose all outside control or you lose all ramp control. You can't just keep sitting here A, because say you lost ramp control, you could be getting flanked from heaven. You lost outside control, somebody could be coming from mini. There's just too many angles for you to worry about, so you know you need to regress lobby yourself. I like to bounce fucking a flash just off the corner right there. I even missed it, but still, did what it was supposed to do. It bounced off of here and came forward and gave me an entry flash. I'll do something like that, or if I'm playing like close to the door, you can just right click throw and just run through. Sometimes you're just gonna have to push lobby when you lose control over certain places of the map. It just is how Nuke is played. And I almost forgot about this, but if you ever aren't going to use your molly hut and you want to still use it in the round, you can throw it in the corner right here, just directly above the yellow. And all you have to do is do a forward W run throw, and that'll land and block perfectly at the door here. This is also if you're this door player going up the ladder, you can molly your door just like this. And it's a pretty useful thing that you should be doing with your Molotovs at the start of every round as well. Alright, and I'm going to go over this bonus section pretty quickly. This is just going to be mainly pop flashes and maybe a couple other useful things you might need to know. If you ever find yourself in heaven and want to pop flash onto a site, you can come into this corner and chuck a little flash at this guy's knee. If you aggressed ramp into lobby and are retaking A, you can just forward run throw a flash off that wall and it'll bounce into here, so that when you exit out, you don't really have to worry about turning away from it because it's already going to be behind you. If you ever need a pop flash A site and you're in the Squeaky doorway, you can just like aim it, or with the Tetris boxes here, I aim at this top right one of the gray one and just do a jump throw. That'll bounce like over this yellow thing and it won't even blind you because it's blocked back there, but this will pretty much blind anybody playing back here on site, and I think it even blinds... What the... And I think it even blinds people who are over here in front of hut, yeah. The enemy team holding vent and you need to get down? No problem, you just need a flash. Get yourself stuck in this corner of Tetris. Aim up at the vents. Find like the lines along this vent right here and just go to the top part of it and do a jump throw. You won't really be able to entry perfectly off this flash yourself, but if you have a teammate who's waiting, the flash is going to go directly through them if they're in the top of the vent, and they can drop perfectly on this. This flash is going to fucking destroy anybody holding the vent. You can actually use this on both sides, but you can use these silos here to bounce a lot of shit off of. Say smokes. Say you're worried about the enemy team coming out of hut. Just bounce an nade towards hut. You can use this like slanted or curved surface to bounce nades and do a lot of funky and weird stuff. Thank you for watching if you made it this far along in the video. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like and maybe even subscribe. I plan on dropping a T-side util set guide as well soon, so if you would like to see that, make sure you stay subbed. Peace.